Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Debbie, and I am going to be taking you through this yoga sequence for tight calves today. So if you have a job where you stand on your feet all day and your calves get really tight, or maybe you do a lot of walking because you're a server or something like that, then this one is for you. You don't need any props. However, as always, if you would like to grab blocks, feel free to press pause, grab them, and then come back and begin. We are going to begin in tabletop position. So make your way into tabletop, making sure that our wrists are directly underneath our shoulders, our knees are directly underneath our hips. Inhale, pull that navel into the spine. Exhale, keeping that belly engaged. Extend that right leg behind you, and we're just going to gently rock back and forth, feeling into that calf, keeping those abdominals engaged, not dumping too much weight into the wrists, using your nice yogi hands, keeping the fingers spread wide. And then we'll just find a moment of stillness here and really stretch through that back calf. Inhale, lift the leg up, extend, and then bring it up to the front into our low lunge. So this is where blocks can come in handy for you. So you can either have your hands down here on the mat, you can use the blocks to bring yourself up, or you can place your hand on your knee. Your choice, always your choice. Breathing in and out. I'm going to place my hands back down. Just going to scoot my foot forward a little bit and coming back into our half splits, bringing the toes towards your knee. And you can either stay up higher here or you can just gently fold over, keeping those abdominals engaged so that you're stretching through the low back. You're not dumping in. And then we will come out of that, just stretch it in low lunge, and then bring it back to tabletop. And we'll take that to the other side. Engage those abdominals, and then extend that left leg behind. And we will just gently rock back and forth. Now, how far you move will be dependent on how tight your calves are for you. If this is your first time moving in the morning, they're probably pretty stiff. And then we'll find some stillness here. Stretching as much, again, as is comfortable for you through the calf. You don't want to cause it to cramp. And then we will bring that foot through to the front of the mat and coming into our low lunge. Again, your position, your choice. You can stay up on your fingertips. You can plant your hands here. You can use blocks. And you're feeling a nice stretch back through here as well. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then I'm just going to walk my left foot forward a little bit and come back into my calf stretch here. Half splits. Inhaling and exhaling. And if it feels good in the body, you can absolutely fold over that leg. Keeping the toes flexed towards the knee. And then we'll come back into our low lunge and swing that leg back into tabletop. Now from here, we're going to make our way into downward facing dog. I'm going to grab one block, curl the toes under, lifting the knees, and we're going to pedal the dog, bending one knee and then the other.
With my frozen shoulder, I am unable to reach that left arm forward, so I am just using my hand on a block for balance here. We'll find some stillness and really think about pushing those hips up towards the ceiling, finding length through the back. The heels don't have to touch the ground. That is not the goal. It is just to feel a nice stretch through the back of the legs and finding length in the spine. And then you can walk the hands back towards the feet. Again, this is where I find things difficult with my frozen shoulder. And coming into a forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. And we're going to inhale, rolling up slowly, one vertebrae at a time, reaching the arms up overhead, bringing hands together to touch, and hands down through the heart center. Inhale, find length, and then exhale, forward fold. Now this is where, if you have blocks or a book, really going to come in handy for you. I'm going to place both hands on the block, and what we're going to do here is we're going to bend one knee, and then bend the other one, keeping one leg straight. And depending on how tight your calves are will depend on how this feels for you. So your choice as to where you would like to place your block, on the lowest setting or the highest setting. And you can use two blocks, you don't just have to use one. For me, I'm comfortable with my legs here. And if you don't need a block, that's perfectly fine. You can place both hands down and then bend one knee and then the other. And it should feel really nice in the back of the hamstrings as well as the calves. Now we're just going to find a little stillness here in our forward fold. I'm just going to place the block off to the side. And then we will bend the knees generously, rolling our way all the way up to standing. And we're going to make our way into a seated position. So I'm going to be a little creative and take my feet out towards the edge of the mat, lower down into malasana. It's my neighbor's dog because he just saw me. He's all bark. And make our way into a seated position. Flex the feet towards the knees. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, forward fold. And if you need to keep a generous bend in the knees here, feel free to do so. And the goal is never to reach the feet. It is just to feel a nice release through the back of the hamstrings and the calves. By keeping the feet, the toes, pointed towards the knees, this is where I really notice the stretch in the back of my calves. A couple more breaths in and out here. One more inhale. And on the exhale, walk your hands slowly up your legs, coming back up into a seated position. Maybe it feels good to just shake the legs out a little bit. We're going to make our way onto our backs now. Rolling down. And bring the knees into the chest, full wind pose. Maybe it feels good on the low back just to rock a little side to side. And we're going to drop our right foot down. We're going to extend our left leg up high. Reaching anywhere that's comfortable for you, flexing the toes towards the face. And it should feel really nice in your calves here. And if you'd like, you can grab onto the peace fingers, the big toe with the peace finger, sorry.
listening to your body. This is what yoga is really all about. Because yoga just means to unite, and that we are uniting breath with movement. And then we're going to bend that knee and bring it back into full wind pose. Maybe rock a little, and we'll take it to the other side. So dropping the left foot down and extending that right leg, holding onto the back of the leg on the thigh or the calf, keeping a generous bend in the knee as well if that's what feels good to you, but always flexing those feet towards the knee or the face. That's what's going to stretch out this tight calf. And it should never be very uncomfortable. There should be some slight discomfort. On a scale of 1 to 10, you should be sitting at maybe a 3, 3.5. Again, this is all dependent on how tight your calves are. And again, if you'd like, you can grab on with the peace fingers to the big toe and stretching it a little further, listening to your body, doing what feels good to you. One more breath in and out. And we will drop that, pulling knees into the chest, rocking a little side to side. And we're going to drop the knees over to the left, sending that right arm out to the side, just doing a little twist here. And your hand can stay on top of the knee, or it can extend out to the left. Or you can cactus your arms, doing whatever works for you and feels good in your body. And on the inhale, pull the navel into the spine. Use those abdominal muscles to lift the knees up, taking them over to the other side. And then trying to keep the shoulders on the mat. And this is where, for me, I do struggle with this frozen shoulder in the way that if I can't extend my arms, so I have to bend my elbow to make my shoulders touch. So again, it's all about doing what works for your body. And on the inhale, bring the navel into the spine, lift the knees up, and we'll rock and roll our way up to seated. Finding a comfortable seat for you. We'll take one more breath together. Inhale, reach the arms up. And on the inhale, bring the hands down through center. Thanking your body for taking you through this practice today. Namaste. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I hope that your calves feel a little less tight now than they did when we started. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe and notification bell so that you know when my next video is available for you to view on YouTube. I look forward to practicing with you again. Have a great rest of your day.